Tim, thank you so much for joining me tonight. What impact do you see chaplains having on the ground in your community?
Oh, Amanda, they have been serving schools in Australia for the last 30 years. They offer a unique dimension of care. They're not counsellors.
Yep.
They're not psychologists. They're not nurses. They are that person that is easy to get access to, that the kids trust.
Yep.
That's not an authority figure. And study after study, in fact, there's been a very recent one by the federal government on the effectiveness of chaplaincy, and there's ringing endorsements. And I know simply by the schools in the electorate that I represent that schools would not know what to do without their school chaplain.
Now, there is a small amount of federal funding that goes to school chaplains, but it's not enough to cover the cost of that person being there. And 30 June was the last day that a person could give a tax-deductible donation to the SU. What's going on here? Why has it stopped?
Well, that's a very good question, and it's incredibly concerning. As you've mentioned, the federal government, one of the great initiatives of the Howard government was the school chaplaincy program. So chaplaincy was already operating, totally funded by community organisations and individuals. And the Howard government recognised that this is great work that we needed to support. So they brought in the chaplaincy funding program, which is basically $20,000 per school.
Right.
Now, that money hasn't increased, unfortunately. We'd love to see more money. But $20,000 doesn't even pay for 2 days.
Yeah.
Most chaplains are at least 3 days, many more 4 and 5 days. So they had to do their own fundraising.
Yep.
It's a crucial part of it. So to be told 3 weeks out from the end of the financial year that tax-deductible status won't continue in the future is a significant blow to school chaplaincy. I am very worried about what impact it will have. I believe that many school chaplains, it'll affect their fundraising ability and therefore affect the number of days that they can be in schools. And there's only one group of people that are going to suffer from that, and that's our kids, particularly our most vulnerable kids.
Yeah, that's really worrying. Has Education Minister Grace gone to bat for the chappies and the important work they do with their federal colleagues?
That's a good question. I mean, in Queensland, we have state Labor government, as we do in most states. I think that they should be on the phone straight away because I'm not sure. I want to give the feds the benefit of the doubt that they may not understand the impact.
You're good-hearted that way. You're very good-hearted.
The cynic in me says that federal Labor has never really wholeheartedly supported this. They have done it begrudgingly because they know how popular it is.
Yeah.
I can't help thinking that this is very convenient, and in some ways it's undermining chaplaincy by stealth. They can say we're still providing the funding, but we are really cutting the legs from underneath them by taking away this tax-deductible status.
You've been asking some questions of the state Labor people about whether or not they've been putting the screws on the federal team.
Yep.
Have they given you any good answers?
No, they haven't. And I think one of the worrying things about this, Amanda, is that this has sort of come as a surprise.
Yeah.
And again, they may not even know this yet. And so it's my job and others, and I think the people that employ chaplains, to start lobbying both federal and state politicians for them to understand the impact. Once they know how loved chaplains are, and any politician, local representative of any level worth their salt would see the chaplains working in schools, hear the stories, I'd like to think that common sense will prevail. But we've had a fight before with school chaplaincy. We've had High Court challenges. And if we don't fight this, I hate to think what the consequences might be.
Finally, what do you see as the risks on the ground from not having these chappies in place to help get that early intervention support for kids struggling with their mental health or social media bullying, exposure to material they shouldn't be, or even the temptation to youth crime?
Well, talk to any school principal and ask them what is their greatest challenge. And it's not curriculum issues, it's not staffing issues, it's the social issues that students face. And the chaplains play a crucial role in providing the support that's required. And if we lessen the number of days that they're in schools, we obviously lessen the support that we provide. And that is the last thing we need in schools right across this country at the moment.
seems counterproductive as we try and get a hold on a youth crime epidemic here. Thank you so much for your work on the ground to try and turn this around, Tim Mander.
My pleasure.